good morning, or whatever time of day it is that you're watching this. We're going to be constructing the wings for these butterflies. We're not going to focus on the body today. We're not going to focus on the body today. We're only going to focus on the wing. In fact, I'm just going to show you how to construct one wing. So, let's get to it. To my document camera. I'll make it full screen. So I've got a lot of materials here. These are all things that you're going to need. You can see I've got a ruler. I've got some glue. I'm going to use some scissors in a few minutes. Wire cutters. These are needle nose pliers, but within are wire cutters because you're going to need to cut a length of wire. And then your wings. Now, really important, your wings, you need to have two sets. They need to be identical, so hopefully you've used the tracing table to create that. And they should have full color, so these wings aren't ready yet. When you're doing your color, I would like for you to think about the value shading practice that we've worked on. So here's an example of where I've used the same color, but because of how hard or lightly I've pressed, I've got some different colors within this space. So I'd encourage you to consider that in the color work that you're getting ready to do. I have some, because these aren't quite ready, I'm going to use a set of wings that I kind of mocked up here. And what's important to see is that this wing is on the opposite side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out so that they'll be identical. Now, I've given myself this color border. You could do this with pencil. You could make this border that I'm creating right now black and white if you want to. And the reason is once I've cut this out, it's really difficult to color the edge. So if I need to add color to the edge and I've already cut it out, it becomes really difficult to do that. So I've got my wing. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. If it's possible for you, I would recommend leaving the paper folded like this. That way when you cut two wings out, they will be the same, which will make everything from that point on a little bit easier. The nice thing about giving myself this color border is I don't have to be super precise with my cutting. I don't have to cut exactly to the edge of the wing, so that's a benefit of that as well. Like I said, that color border, even if it's black and white, should be about 1/4 inch. If you're right now sitting there thinking, what is 1/4 inch? About the width of your pencil. All right, so I've got a pair of wings here, which are identical because I cut them at the same time. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the construction piece. So I've got my wings. I'm going to use a piece of wire. The reason that I have the ruler is I want my piece of wire to be about 12 inches long. So if you have a piece of wire that's about 12 inches long, that's great. I'm going to take, with my wings, I want to have one side face down. The other side, I'm just going to set aside over here. And now we're going to take this wire and we want to have this wire in the center of the wing. I'm actually going to just draw a line that shows you kind of where you want your wire to be. So ideally it'll kind of follow this shape and then it should exit this point of the wing. So I'm going to leave part of the wire sticking out. That's that exit that I was just mentioning. And I'm just going to kind of follow that line that I've just drawn. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if it's close, that's going to help you out. You do want to be fairly close to the edge of your paper. If you have one piece of wire sticking out, that'll work. So right now I've got one piece of wire. And then I want that wire, right now it's not laying completely flat, so I'm just going to take a moment and try to help it so that it will lay relatively flat inside this wing. I need a fair amount of space around the outside edge of the wire, and I need at least a half an inch. I would recommend a thumb's width of wire sticking out of this corner. If you don't have that much, it'll be difficult to assemble your butterfly wing. All right, I'm now going to use my glue. This is really important when you're using glue. You want to use a very small amount. A lot of times students will use a lot of glue because they feel like more glue is going to make it stickier. It actually works the opposite way. The way this glue works is it's a water-based glue. It's not a school glue or an elementary glue. It's a glue all, so it's a heavier duty glue. But when the water that's in the glue that kind of holds it in this bottle, when that evaporates, that's when this glue starts to get stronger. So I'm double checking to make sure my wire has a good space between the edge and the wire. And now I'm going to take this other wing, which I have flipped. Make sure that you're gluing the right side, which should be the inside. I'm going to zoom in on this so that you can see how much glue I'm applying. I'm going to bring it right to the edge. Really, really thin bead of glue. You don't want it to be any kind of a situation where you're going to press it together and glue is going to squeeze out. So as I'm looking at this, I feel like right here I've got kind of a big bead of glue. I'm just going to use my finger to kind of smear that glue in. And if there are any other places, I see another one over here, I'm going to use my finger just to kind of smear that in. I'm going to put a little bit more glue in the center because that's going to help to hold everything together. And again, I'm just going to keep that thin bead, and I just make a little loop there. And wherever it seems to be real thick, I'm just kind of smearing it out with my finger. Now I'm going to assemble this wing. Make that so that you can see it. Again, what's important is that the wire comes out of this corner of the wing. That'll be the same on all of your wings. You need that piece of wire to stick out of the corner. And you need to have this space all the way around, which I feel like I have. I'm going to take this wing now, and I'm just going to kind of gently lay it on here. I'm looking and trying to line up my edges. I'm still making sure that I'm coming out of the corner of the wing. Don't forget that piece. And now I'm just going to very gently press. So I'm kind of going over my edges. I'm using my fingers to kind of gently press the whole thing together. Now you're going to have some places where that paper wants to come back up, where it wants to separate where you've just pressed it together. So you can see I'm kind of using all of my fingers. Don't forget to press that center part where you put that glue. I'm using all of my fingers to kind of do my best to press that back together. So you can see it's not the kind of thing. Here's one thing I would not recommend. Don't put this inside a book because I don't think the wire will allow it to press the edges the way my fingers are pressing the edges right now. So you can see I'm just kind of working back around that outside edge until I'm sure that it's all pressed nicely together. That's pretty much it. You're going to do that for each of your wings. So I've got another wing here that's unfinished. I'm going to create that color border. I haven't traced this side yet, so I've got work to do there. But this is what you need. And then when we assemble the body, that'll be another video that I'll make. This piece of wire will go inside the body so that the wing can be attached and it'll be flexible and you can shape it. Other reason that it's important to have your color work done before you assemble this is if you were to color this wing the way it is now with the wire inside of it, that wire is going to show through. You're not going to have nice clean coloring like I did on this. So thanks for watching. Good luck with your making of your wings.